What is up? All right. I wanted to do a quick video today to kind of introduce the channel and answer the question, why Pokebard TCG? Why start the channel? Why start the brand? Why do any kind of Pokemon card selling, trading, whatever? Because it doesn't make a lot of sense. So I'm 53 years old. Pokemon came out, the first Pokemon came out in 1996. So in 1996, I was in my first, like right around my first, second year of law school. And so I don't have a Pokemon origin story of, hey, I grew up playing the game and I traded it with my friends in the yard and I would go buy packs and, have all these cards sitting around and then I got a passion for it. That's not my story. That's not how I started. So I'm a lot different than most people on the platform. So I didn't know anything about Pokemon basically until, I knew what it was. Obviously, I knew it was a trading card game. I knew people played it, and but I didn't. Other than that, I knew nothing about it until this year, 2026, when I'm 53 years old. So um, so how did this begin? How did this start? Well, for a little backstory, I did like comic books. So if you see right here, this is a Marvel Secret Wars #1, and so I have all the Secret Wars 1 through 12, and I bought them subsequently though later in life because I got rid of all of my comic books that I used to have. So like Punisher 1, all the original Spider-Man in the black Spider-Man suit, all the good Wolverines, right? So it's just I don't even want to think about all the money that I lost because I didn't keep my collection. And so I did like collecting things. So I did start collecting comic books, and I did like the art part of comic books. I'm a creative person. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So it's not like if Pokemon would have been around when I was a kid, 100% would have collected it. 1,000,000%. I also would have played it because I played chess. I was on the chess team in high school, and so I played competitive chess, and so I really would have enjoyed the competitive playing aspect of it. So um, but I didn't have any of that. So how did I get into it? Well, I have a twin brother, and my twin brother he started getting into Pokemon cards and started collecting them. And then he said, "Hey, let me show you some of these Pokemon cards that I'm collecting." I was like, "Okay, cool." And what I really liked about them was the artwork is incredible. Like I was really drawn to the artwork, right? And so I was like, "Oh my God, this has come like a super far long way since what I remember this to be, with just like a little Pikachu, right?" And so I started to kind of like, I was like, oh, I started to buy some packs just because I thought the artwork was cool. So I bought packs all over the place. I bought, Ascended Heroes and or not Ascended Heroes, like that was later, like Perfect Order, and then I bought Japanese packs. And I didn't know there was just such an overwhelming amount of stuff that it was like it's impossible to know what anything meant. It really is just assaults the senses when you're starting if you don't know anything, which I didn't. So then I decided, well, why don't I collect a set, right? So I said, I'm just going to buy Mega Evolutions packs. So my local comic book store had Mega Evolutions packs. So I'd take my son over there, and then he would get into Pokemon card. He started getting into Pokemon cards, and then he's trading them with his friends. But he's in first grade, so he doesn't really know the value of a card. So like when he will open, and I didn't either. So he would open cards or whatever. And as I started to like do my collection of I decided to do just Mega Evolution, right? And really just the base set too. I just started to get into it and started to collect it. And then I started to consume content. I was like, oh, this is an actual business. And then my daughter had an indoor soccer tournament, and there was a Pokemon show there, and I was like, "Oh, this is really interesting." So I was attracted to the business aspect of it, and from there, basically, I started to really start to think about it. I was like, "Oh, well, this could be kind of a fun side hustle for me." And then I'm searching for different side hustles for physical, tangible products. I started a electrolyte company, and I did that for about a year. And right now I'm having a supply chain issue, and I'm at a crossroads with the electrolyte business because there's a couple things about the electrolyte business that I can't solve for. There's no barrier to entry in terms of like if Gatorade wanted to come in and use my formula, they can. There's no patent on it that I can do, and my brand really can't compete with the category king of Gatorade. So I was like, and also too, it's like electrolytes. It's a straight money play. There's very little art involved in the sale of electrolytes. It's a consumable, and I didn't like all the risk. So you have to have all this insurance, and every time that I would send a batch out, I would be like, well, what, what's going to happen, and then storing it. And so there's a whole, being a consumable, there's all this risk. And as a creative person, my mind really, like when I watch a movie, like I don't watch horror movies because my imagination is too big. I just had to bear all this risk for the electrolyte business. And even though I know it could be successful, I'm unwilling to bear that risk. Pokemon does not have that type of risk, right? You may have an unhappy customer. You may have to like maybe do a refund if something goes wrong, or if you grade a card wrong or whatever, or you say, hey, it's near mint, but they think it's playable. Like, okay, here, take your money back, whatever. But you're not at risk of getting sued, right? So I was like, okay, so that really appealed to me. But then I didn't want to just build a business just for the sake of making money. I'm a lawyer. I transitioned from being a lawyer to being a writer, so I have a successful writing business. I do some legal business, so I don't need to do a side hustle to make extra money. If I want to make extra money, I can just basically work harder in my other stuff, and more money will come in. So, but I really was intrigued by a physical product of Pokemon. And then I started to think about, well, what would I ultimately want to do with this business? Well, ultimately, what I decided, what would be awesome, is if I could give my son, who's in first grade, the opportunity, if he wanted to take over the business, right? Like say, hey, here's the business, and then take it over. And he can watch all the videos that I did and all the content that I did from the very beginning to decide if that, to learn basically all the lessons that I learned along the way. He could just watch everything, and then he could, sit there with me doing it. And if he decided that he wanted to do it with me, and then take the business over, he could. And so I was like, wow, that is a mission that I can really get behind, is to build a business for my son Luke, who's in first grade right now, because I think he'll probably be ready to start doing business maybe in a few years, right? Maybe in his like fifth grade, he can start like doing, if we're trading at a vendor show or whatever the business is doing, he'll be able to handle that when he's younger. And so, and I have 25 years of business of, I ran my own firm for 16 years in Los Angeles, the most competitive market in the world. I have an ability to teach him about writing. So I have all these different disparate businesses that I've done, and all these lessons that I've learned over the years that I can apply to the Pokemon business, right? So I'm not coming into this never having done anything before, so I can hit the ground running with regards to kind of what I want to do. And that's the reason, that's the why Pokebar TCG exists, is that I want to build a business, a Pokemon business that is, because my son has an interest in it, that I can teach him how to do business. And even if he doesn't take over the business, that I could use to teach him business, so that when he goes to college or after college, I can impart all these lessons to him without just dad saying, hey, learn this, right? So this is the mechanism. This is why Pokebar TCG exists. Okay. Um, so so what does it have to do with the rest of this video, and what does that do for you? Well, you get to kind of, one, see the journey along the way, but two, you get to learn the same lessons that I'm teaching my son with, right? And so if you've never had a business before, or if you haven't had a business for 25 years, you might learn something, and it might be kind of fun along the way to see the trials and tribulations of a 53-year-old man start a Pokemon business from scratch, where he literally knows almost nothing. So and the other thing too about it though is, for me personally, it's fun. Like, this is my first thing I ever bought, like in terms of a sealed product, and I bought this off of TCG Player, and it was just so fun to open this box, right, and just be like, this is amazing. This is like the most fun thing ever. And so I get to also become a collector and have all these experiences as a collector fresh along the way. So that's gonna be really fun for me. So what is the? We'll end this lesson with, or end this video with, a business lesson. Okay. So what is the business lesson that, if you're watching this, if you're watching this is in the first video, and you're whatever 15 years old, what is the lesson I want to teach you? Well, the first lesson I want to teach you, okay, is that money is attracted to speed. Money's attracted to speed. A lot of people, when they do things in business, they miss out on opportunities because they're unwilling to pull the trigger fast enough on things, and someone does. They're unwilling to act on ideas that come to them. The only way that you ever own an idea is if you actually do something with it. And so this video is owning that idea of I'm going to build this business for my son and teach lessons along the way so he can watch his videos and do the business later, and then help other people along the way and start my own personal collection. Like that is the whole why Pokebar TCG, right? But if you'll notice, this is in the garage bunker. This is my garage fridge, right? Like I don't have a fancy set. I don't have good lighting. I don't have, I found my Secret Wars comic book to put up here, and I found my this Elite Trainer box from Mega Evolutions that I bought, and that's it. And then I don't even have a whiteboard. I have a piece of butcher paper on the um, on the refrigerator, right? And it's low quality production. Just basically kind of like, oh, kind of figured out what I wanted to talk about, and then here we are. And so um, what I want you to understand though is that money is attracted to speed. So now we've gone from the channel has gone from 0 to 1, right? We have one video. This is our first video on the channel, and if there's one thing I've learned in business, but obviously it's consistency and then just get started. So that's what we're doing today. So now you know the reasons behind why Pokebar TCG exists, and I'm very excited to build the channel. The next video we're going to talk about I'll have a link in the comments or in the show notes is going to be about my vision on short-term, medium, and long-term, what I've kind of picked to focus on for the business with the knowledge that I have right now. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see where this goes.